Hello, welcome back to From Soft Serve. Today I fix a whole bunch of nasty mesh holes, which, they're holes. They're not great. We don't like them, and they had to be. Oh, look at that! We found a seam. Hold on. I was wondering if we'd find something to fix live. Because yeah, there's a lot of stuff to show off. I updated the textures on the bridge because it was incorrectly using like the wrong texture, and it's still kind of wrong. Well, no, I think it's right. It's just the sun is hitting it, so it's like differently colored. But the weird thing was, I actually have pictures to show, which aren't as sexy as the videos either, but such is life. And let's fix this little mesh. Okay, Dragon, you're not helping me out here. Yeah, so let's fix the mesh seam live, baby. I've also been fixing some UV mapping on textures where it looks like stretched and fucking awful. So let's load into. I realized I was loading something else. Okay, we have DS Map Studio. I see they have a low requirements one. I will not be requiring that, thank you very much. But I appreciate you. Okay, so let's figure out what our two map pieces are. And we go by, let me pop this onto your screen here. So let's go look real quick. We know it's on the bridge. And we know it's, aha. So it's 2012 and 2014 B1. Got it. So let's pull up our Soulstruct menu, tab over to this. We are on 1001 for Undead Berg. We will do our MSB part import, and we want 2012. That's the first one, not the movie with John Cusack, but the actual map piece. Okay, 2012. Let's load it up. We can see that popped in right over here. Yoink. This one looks a little janky. It's got like, I think this is the one where I opened up that second doorway. So it's kind of, I think it's a little fucked up, but we're only going to look at the things that need to be adjusted like immediately. Because it looks like shit. Okay. Aha. Look at that little mesh flap. It's disgusting. So you have two map pieces loaded. It's real nice. We're going to go into edit mode, and you can see there's just a little bit sticking out here. Let's go to our wireframe, which does not actually help that much. But usually what I do is, instead of actually just deleting these, if you just want to have a nice light touch, I usually will just use the pull or push and go whoop. let me just jam that. Yoink. Okay, maybe just a bit more, just to be sure. And we'll look on the inside just to be sure nothing has been affected. I don't think it has. I don't think there's actually anything that was weird. So we'll just kind of look around. And okay, yep. So let's hit, now the one that we edited was, I already forgot. Oh shit, it's still visible? Oh. Yeah, let's, okay, which one is that? It's 2012 that we were editing. Duly noted. So export map piece parts, fingers crossed, and we have exported it. Now, does this mesh flap disappear? Here's the test, because we have kicked it back in the game files. Fingers crossed. And It's gone. Hell yeah. So that's basically what I've been doing today, mostly on and off. Between doing other things, I was fixing the terrain over here to make it wrap around that edge there a little bit better. That tower looks a little strange. And then I was messing with Firelink Shrine, basically landscapes, because there's this one part that just stops loading. It's really strange. So let's go in here. People reported a bug of a giant piece of landscape mountainside popping up in here, so I fixed that. And then I fixed on the higher level here, as you're running towards where the boar normally is, there was also a giant piece of landscape. Weirdly, it was actually from Firelink Shrine's map, not Undead Burg. It was loading like way farther over than it honestly normally does. It was kind of a bit strange. Hey, yeah, get your ass out of here, dog. Yeah, so now the bridge has this texture on the right and this texture on the left, and it's not as much of a match as I thought it was going to be. It looks like it's because the sun is hitting it. Oh, dear God. What in the holy hell did I do to this pillar? I don't remember oh God, I must have been editing this at some point and I fucked it up. Oh no. All right, well, this actually might be a fun challenge to see if we can fix it. Yeah, here it is. Well, good thing it's something we already have loaded. This might be fun actually, because I'm a bit curious. It's gonna load the textures for it. I also fixed this brick over here, which was originally sitting on top of this wall, and I moved it down here, and I had to fill in the gap at the end of the brick. Not perfectly, but change the UV mapping a bit to look slightly better, but no more gaping hole in it, which was always slightly bizarre to me. Oh, so that's how the side of their bricks look. Oh, okay. Interesting. See if there's any other holes. No, just foliage. Alright. And let's see if I have my pictures. Yeah, so this is a good example of the mesh hole. It was one of the worst ones up here. It was absolutely astoundingly bad. Like, I'm surprised I never noticed it, but there's this giant gash that it looks like they had just taken a saw to and they had cut this hole out and then left it. Really bizarre. And so after, you can see, haha, it's now fixed. Small thing that most people won't notice, and I don't blame them at all. This wall was weirdly, it's all the same texture. I made sure to look, and the whole thing is one texture, but the way that they were handling the texture here was like completely different. So I did it like the dumbest way possible, and I like cut out a section of wall from somewhere else. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. I don't know why you guys are some reason using this one little portion, and it's the same texture. I don't quite get it. Oh, maybe I never had an update picture for that. I could run there in game. Yeah, so here's the brick originally, as it was kind of just sitting here. I guess that's how the side of the brick should look. Damn. Well, no, that's the side of the exposed brick. Oh, okay, mine's actually not bad. Here's a slightly better picture, and you can see that this was completely see-through on this side of the longer brick here, and this one was floating. Someone in my Discord had mentioned it, and I was like, oh shit. And then here's another. Dude. Clip champ, get out of here, Microsoft. Oh my god, OneDrive? Microsoft, you gotta stop. And then this is the after photo where I moved the brick down as if it had been like knocked off or something. And then I kind of like filled in the edge here of the brick and then made it UV mapped pretty poorly, but better than it was. So for me, I take it as a win. But yeah, I filled that in as a Blender noob. Here's my favorite one. This triangle here. has literally been chasing me and just been staring me in the eye in this game for so fucking long. And for some reason, it was like hard coded against filling it in, because even when I would do the edit and it would show up in DS Map Studio, it would show up in Blender, even if I like unloaded it, reloaded it, in game, it would refuse to show it. So I ended up having to delete this entire map piece and basically duplicate it, name it something else, and then it went, oh shit, okay, now you are allowed to fill it in. And the last time I filled it in, but it never showed up, it was actually just a really shitty job. And so just through using Blender more, like still no tutorials or anything, I've gotten better to where now I pretty perfectly filled it in just as it was before without changing the actual geometric shape. Before it was like, it just was ugly as shit. It was like a hatchet job I did. No one ended up seeing the product though. But yeah, I ended up actually filling it in. Pretty happy with that one. And then I'm glad I documented this, so at least I can show you guys. And then this was a giant little thing inside the first bonfire room of Undead Burg. And it's actually from the connecting portion of the bridge that connects to that structure. And you have to be looking up at a very specific angle at the back wall, and you'll see it barely just creep through or clip through a little bit. And so I went into Blender and I just moved the vertices just a little bit, just a tad. And here's another angle you can see. And you have to be looking at this very specific angle, and I've never seen it before. And as far as I know, I never moved the bridge. So I've not been moving vertices on this bridge. And so here you can see the before and after. Pretty snazzy, if I do say so myself. Nice little fixes. Yes, so here's a good example of the bridge. This is the texture they were using on the right side. And then the left side had this. This is the way better image. So they have like this sort of dark texture, and it matches the pillars. And then on the right, you just have this out of place texture. It's very odd. It's not as noticeable in OBS when I'm looking, but here, I think even there, you'll be able to tell that it doesn't match the pillars like at all. And when I looked up this map piece, apparently it was set to be using the same texture on both of these side portions, but it was just absolutely not displaying that way. So I don't know what kind of shenanigans that was. So what I ended up doing is going into the Fiverr file and basically grabbing the texture from the pillars, which matches how this was originally, and then telling the Fiverr file, hey, I'm going to replace what this texture is, even though it was already technically displaying that on the left side. It's very confusing. It's very weird. And anyway, I told it, hey, use the pillar one. And so then this was the updated result, which certainly improved some of it. Like it became different, but not insanely better. It's still brighter for some reason. I know the sun from this angle is hitting it, but what that doesn't explain is why the pillars are behaving differently. I'm assuming it might be an MTD setting, but as far as I know, the material setting was the same for the two different portions. So that's still TDB, but it has fixed. This side of the bridge was that weird texture. It looked like this. And I don't fully know why. It was just randomly using that texture. I've noticed it in other portions of Undead Burg where it just randomly alternates to that texture out of fucking nowhere. And it's like, wait, I was pretty sure we're supposed to be using this texture. So there's some random picture updates. That's actually not a bad way to do it sometimes when I just document it that way instead of running around. But yeah, it still looks a little off, honestly. But if we run down to that one area that had that strange texture, we should be able to see that, where it at least looks less noticeable. And I'll pull up the picture again. And I know I could like edit in the pictures, but honestly just showing it to them like that's one where it's like, I don't think I need to overthink it. I just have the pictures right there. I'll just show them. instead of, oh, let me go grab all the image files. You'd be surprised. Putting images in and editing on Resolve, I feel like a lot of that is like overthinking. They're like, I gotta make sure everything is like the slickest editing ever. And I'm like, man, that sucks. That just sucks, man. Yeah, so this one is the picture that used to look really, really strange. And yeah, so it was this. And you can see how strange this looks. It's just a weird texture on it. And so I think my work was honestly pretty good for a Blender noob and a texture noob. And, you know, I'm just learning through doing over time. So I fixed that. And this looks a little bit better from this angle. I've had to continuously go back to this big mountainside map piece and sort of prune it and try to make it, you know, pin up next to the actual castle up there a little bit better. The other thing is I fixed more mesh holes where coming back from Andre's place. Yeah, let's go warp to Andre, who is dead, but I didn't want him to be dead, so I think that counts. I didn't want him to die. And let's see. Yeah, I've still had people reporting black bricks, and I'm like, that's weird. I'm not seeing any. It's really strange. I don't know if it's a texture thing or what. I don't remember changing the texture for that at all, so I don't really understand why that would be the case, but such is life of modding Dark Souls 1. So before, okay, it looks like it's not fully fixed. You can still see a tiny hole where my character's head is, just barely. Let's see if we can pull that up in DS Map Studio, because and actually everything that's white, well, most everything that's white, I've touched in Blender in some way, and then it gets rid of the texture. Oh, that's right. We were going to fix this. Yes, look at this mesh hole. Look at this gorgeous, hideous mesh hole. That it's just, they just had so many of these. I don't fully know why they decided to, I don't know if they just didn't notice in development, but it's real bad. Let's do that. Okay, don't save. Thank you very much. Let's open up Soulstruct, import. I think this one's going to be a little bit more straightforward, although famous last words. But it's been on my list for quite a while. I've just been kind of taking care of things that I've seen forever, and I'm just like, all right, I'll do them eventually. I'll get to it. And then eventually you go, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to actually take care of this GD. Yeah, they're not exactly giant mesh holes, but they are there. And if you go into edit mode, yeah, you can see it's really just, oh, wow. Okay, it's way more noticeable here. Holy shit. It's legit just not connected. Oh my God. That's nuts. That is just absolutely nuts that they were like, eh. And usually the easy thing you can do is kind of just like, you kind of just squeeze down this little top portion, and it usually works pretty well, to be honest. It's kind of goofy because you're like, man, that really shouldn't work, but it honestly does. Yeah, let's go back to the shaded one. All right. And I believe, no, I will say the wireframe, while useful, occasionally I lose track of where I'm at with it, to be honest, but it's not that bad. It's I'm sure there's a million different ways, I'm sure, of improving my Blender usage, and I promise I slowly am. I just am, the way that I learn, I think, is a bit non-traditional. and I think it is off-putting to some people, but I really like to learn through just doing, and that basically means doing it incorrectly quite a bit. But it's always been the way I learn, because then I find a better way of doing it, and then I'll do it the better way. But I want to get my hands dirty, right? I don't want to be just fucking around with it forever and watching nonstop tutorials. So I basically am like, all right, cool. This will be my Blender tutorial. Excellent. All right. And I've already learned an absolute, at least what I feel like is a shitload versus my original Blender usage, which was none, realistically. So let's move that down. So really we're just barely affecting the file as little as we need to. That way we're not super stretching things out. We're just a teensy little move around the edge here, just to make it not noticeable. Now some of them are not noticeable because it's from an angle that you wouldn't see anyway, but we're here. We're gonna fix it. I feel like I've already rotated all the way around it, but I know I haven't. It just feels like I have. I think it's this one. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go there. And we know we got this one here. Yoink. Of course, I could do other things like merging vertices. I have been doing that occasionally. But here, I feel like I don't need to overthink it. I actually find some of this more laborious. It's not really that laborious, to be honest. But I find it relaxing. It's just nice, simple work. Yoink. We're just lowering it. I'm sure there's like 5,000 macros for things. I think that's why I was a little like, should I show off any Blender work? Because I know that I'm just going to get a ton of comments of like, oh my God, you don't know how to do this in Blender. It's like, yeah, fuck no, I don't. I am learning through doing. And it's also, I think, hopefully helpful for other people that are like, oh my God, Blender is such a ridiculous tool to learn, which is of course always what I've thought. And it is accurate. Don't get me wrong, it is accurate. It's just, I think it, you know, if anyone else is out there going, damn, I wonder if I can learn Blender. Well, if I can do it, you can do it too. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's actually a little bit more user-friendly than I originally had assumed. Wow, I guess this is because you couldn't get up here, so they were just basically... I think we're actually fine with this. We don't need to fine-tune it too much more because the angles you can see it from are limited. But I will say some of these bricks, I was pretty sure I could see through them. Like, for instance, these ones are just hideous, and I don't think they even really need to be here at all. Like, these are ones that are so non-geometric that I don't think they're helping literally anyone. And no one will notice that they're gone. The only thing they would notice is if they were trying to look through them and they ended up seeing, yeah, like these, they were doing these for like very specific angles. And seems like they forgot that you could look from different angles that they didn't think of. Because yeah, I could definitely see those giant ass mesh holes. I was like, ugh. That's nasty. Let's get a textured look, because I'm wondering what the fuck this is. This looks weird to me. Oh. Oh, okay, I guess that's intentional. Alright, well. Duly noted. Let's see what we got. Let's rotate around, rotate around. Alright. I think we might be golden. So let's export that. Export map piece parts. Let's see if it tells us anything about it. It's not trained. Oh, nope, it liked it. You love to see it. Well, yeah, okay, fuck. I guess let's go back to that bonfire. Shit. Well, I mean, I guess we can just go from this angle, right? But yeah, there were whole ass vertical holes in this mesh. The giant Undead Parish one. I've known about them for, I mean, months at this point. I just didn't have the tools to fix them, or fixing them was ridiculous before this Blender plugin. So now that we have it, it is just, oh, it's so much easier. What's up, nerd? How you doing? How's everyone doing? Gates open, love to see it. Okay, well that's, actually I think that was just me running into the fucking fire, so you guys are off the hook on that one. Oh, I traded. Oh, that was a precision dodge. You love to see it. Oh, that was the dragon. I was like, what kind of goddamn flickering was that? Oh, shit. Hey, you don't normally follow this far. What the shit? Rude. Okay, that was reload. What is that one guy doing? Oh, is he getting a good vantage point? Okay, well, let's eat it. Okay. That still kind of looks shitty. Ooh. Hey, I lowered. Okay. Maybe. All right. Let's double back. Let's double back. Let's go back into Blender, because they would be seeing it from this angle, right? Weird. It might be one of those cases where it's like hard coded. So I'm pretty that like, because from here I'm looking around and I cannot. The only way that I saw it is if I went like this. And it's definitely this map piece. I know I have the right one. This has definitely been a case where, let's see if it's the same situation. Oh yeah, let's unload it in DS Map Studio. Because if we're in the same spot as we're looking in the game, and you can tell it was edited by Blender because then it goes white, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty securely like sewn up there. So, oh, am I just dumb? I didn't log out, did I? It's late. I'm recording this at night, so we're gonna chalk it up to that. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I didn't fucking reload. And if I did, I don't fucking remember. Oh, I fixed it. And now you have a tower that does not have a gaping hole. I can't tell if that's still something. The depth of field kind of hides most of that, but it looks pretty good. And this is what I've been doing most of the day, is just going around plugging fucking holes. I did make this really dumb bridge. It's not really a bridge, but I just thought it was funny. I was trying to hide this little thing I was doing down here, and I hit it really poorly, and I was trying to reuse some map pieces, and it actually ended up connecting to... Okay, well, I was standing on bags, so that's fucking rude. Yeah, I was trying to like creatively use this to create like a wall around Undead Berg, mostly because you see, here's a texture issue, but I don't think it shows up in game. It's kind of weird, but yeah, they kind of go through here, and it actually connects to this, because this is like when you've gone down to where the Black Knight is, and then you head back this way, and there's, you know, obviously there's a drop off, right? But with this new little map piece here, it connects to the other side. They must have originally had an idea for this little doorway, right? Because on the other side, you can tell there, you know, there's a whole little hallway. They had cut this out at some point or added this in. And I think what it did is it connected to a back portion of the tower here, right? That's my guess, at least. I might be... Hey, he killed me. Well, there you go. Okay, cool. Love to see it. I appreciate you, Dragon. I hate you and everything that you stand for. But I respect you. And I think that's more important. I think you'll agree, Dragon. That is vastly more important. I'm trying to see if I can see that weird texture issue from... Okay, well, I fucking hate that in the face. Hey, bitch ass. I'm trying to record a video for the From Soft Serve homies, you know? And they would not appreciate me getting my ass. Actually, to be honest, you guys, I think. Oh my god. I can't die here, because if I die here, I have to just delete my account. That's the rule. Oh, yeah, gobble them up, gobble them up. Slurp down a goddamn Estus. Yeah, it kind of connects to this door. Funny thing is the bricks don't show up in DS Map Studio. Really strange. I don't actually know why that is. Yeah, that's weird. So in DS Map Studio, that texture right there looks really fucking weird, but in-game it looks fine, so I am not going to fuck with it. I need to add the bottom portion of the tower there. Of course, when you go in the tower, it loads the Dark Root Garden one, but I do need to make sure that there actually is one there. I'm so tempted to like jump down on it, but I know that there's no collision. But anyway, I was just kind of goofing around with some things. Oh my god, y'all got a whole posse up in this bitch. Okay. Hey, what's up, nerd? How we doing? Yoink. You know, I gotta say, I don't actually know what's going on in this room, like with the two-tone on the color, or two-tone color on the floor. You know what I meant. I don't really know what's going on with that. It kind of like extends up here, and then it abruptly stops. There's so many weird quirks to this game of like mesh issues, texture issues. Really bizarre. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this weird, quirky, low-tech, awful blender fixing episode of me working on this mod. I'm hoping the blender experts aren't too upset by my awful blender skills. I'm getting the job done, and I'm learning on the job. And I'm probably not making much sense by this point. But anyway, thank you for watching. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, what you're feeling, how you doing, what games are you playing currently? What number playthrough are you on Dark Souls 1? What Dark Souls game is the most played Dark Souls game you have? Do you hope there's a Dark Souls 4? Do you hope there's Bloodborne 2? Just load up the comments with fucking anything, man. Do it up. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. And hopefully you enjoyed this leaning in to the low-tech, busted nature of From Soft Serve. That is the point of this channel, is the nitty-gritty, behind-the-scenes bullshit. That's all the stuff that normally I think modders don't want to show off. I don't actually blame them at all. But I feel like I'm just going to show all the shit. All the weird stuff and the boring stuff. Y'all seem to really like it. And I go, I don't get it, but I'm going to keep making it because you guys seem to like watching it. So I appreciate you, the love and support. And I will see you on the next video, which will be tomorrow. Shocker. Or whenever you're watching this, it'll be tomorrow. It'll be the next day in the lunar calendar. All right.